most of us today use our products superstitiously at times. We can't figure out how to make it work, so we just do what we did last time. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We can't find functions that we know are there. We can't figure out how to do things, even things that we've done in our past. Or, have you ever had something where you set it all up and then something happened and it lost its memory, and you just never set it back up again? People who set up their phone once, or they set up their systems once, and they just don't bother because it's so complicated. We also delay getting technology, or are forced to, because either we or someone else in our household doesn't want to deal with learning a new interface. And so the actual rate of sales of new technologies is being held back because people just don't want to change to something better because they don't want to deal with the interface. And we are the technology adept. So what do we do with the rest of the population, the other 60% or so, who are feeling these things 4 times over? Now, we have technologies emerging that can allow for a sea change in terms of usability. We have user interface sockets, the ability to have products where you can interchange interfaces on a product so that you can use different interfaces. We have task modeling, which you just saw, that talks about the ability to control products by the desired outcome rather than by what the different commands are that it has. So you could say, play Masterpiece Theater, and it would find out where it was, turn on all the right things, aim them all at each other, and then tune to the right place. And you can imagine a grandmother or others that are less technically adept who just plain either wrestle with or have to go find somebody else every time they want to switch between playing off one device or another or find out where something is located. We also have speech and natural language coming along, and these are areas that they're always just a few years away, and they've been a few years away for about 20 years now. But if you go and you look, and even here there's just been some announcements made, you'll see that it is now beginning to really take root, and you're seeing more and more of this. And it's going to, in the near future, break into consumer electronics, and when it does, it's going to make things combined with these other things that we just talked about. If you combine the user interface sockets, task modeling, and speech and natural language, you can actually either talk to a product or take something out of your pocket and talk to it, and say what you want to have done. You can say what you want your television set to do. You can say what you want your thermostat to do, or your oven, or your laundry machines, etc. You can actually come up and talk about what you want done, and this, for the first time, allows you to be able to upgrade without having to worry about having to master them all over again. So what does the user interface socket? We've talked about the other concepts. What does the user interface socket buy for us? For the customer, it can buy the ability to keep an interface you love when you buy a new product and at any time. And this can be very important, and also, especially as we talked about elders, you very often find that you can't take away something that they've been using. Even if it's broken, they won't let you take it away. Even if you can't get it fixed, they won't let you take it away because of this complexity factor. But it goes on down through all of us. The ability to get the latest friendly interface without having to buy all new equipment. If the interface is always on the device and new things come along, you can't do it because you can't afford to revamp everything. You can have different interfaces for different people in the house. The spouse, the kids, and grandma can all now use the same home entertainment system. And you can buy a TV now and not have to wait for new interfaces that you hear about, because you know that they will be able to work with your current technology in the future if you have the socket. Now, manufacturers, it allows them to compete both on the basic function, better display, sound, cleaner clothes, whatever it is, and also on better interfaces. So they can actually have 2 product lines, and you can sell them independently. Now, interesting, the CEA survey for home theater showed that the #1 thing that people want is what it looks like, the video quality. And the #2 was the sound, and #3 was interface. So where is all the resources always going to go within a company? It's going to go to the things that consumers want most. But if you separate them out, you can now roll over new technologies more often with better video, better sound, without having to fight the fact that people don't want to change interface. And in fact, you can have both of them growing and working independently in the same way we do other component systems. You can also divide up the work in companies between programmers and user interface designers to allow them to do best. Right now, very often, user interfaces are being designed by programmers, and that has mixed results. You can also experiment with interface without having to bet the farm. It's very dangerous to change your user interface to something new on your product line if that's the only interface it has, because you could actually, deep six your company. And so, separating them and allowing the ability to plug alternate interfaces allows you to do that. And it allows you to update interfaces on old products to keep loyalty by introducing the new interfaces over the time. So you can people can keep their brand loyalty, but they can switch around amongst the interface that they think that they need to have in order to be able to figure out how to use this. Most importantly, the socket gives us the ability to introduce between the person and the...
Fourth slide. Fourth slide.
No, it's not. It's a blank button. It allows us to introduce between the person and the product a layer of intelligence that we need to have because the underlying base is getting more and more complex. There's nothing that's going to change about that. And the only way we're going to be able to make the top easier is if we can put a layer in the middle of intelligence that can help to interpret, use the task modeling and the other things we've talked about in order to make things simple for the users. And that is going to be able to drive sales across the board of all products.